to the Molalla City Planning Commission meeting for August 5th. We're going to call this meeting to order, and please join me in the flag salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Just a point of note, audience members, we request that you silence your cell phones and not conduct side conversations during the meeting. It would be much appreciated. I'm going to start with roll call, so let's start over here.
Associate Planner Clarissa Davis.
Planning Manager Dan Zinder, present.
Commissioner Potts, present.
Commissioner Ansel, present.
Commissioner Eaglebear, present.
Commissioner Sharp, present.
Commissioner Ornelas, present.
Assistant City Manager Matt Corthell, present.
All right. We don't have any presentations. Consent agenda. There are no items on tonight's consent agenda. Meeting minutes for July and August will be presented at September's meeting. Just so you guys are aware. Next is public comment. Citizens are allowed for up to 3 minutes to present information relevant to the city but not listed as an item on the agenda. Prior to speaking, citizens shall complete a comment form and deliver it to the city recorder. The Planning Commission does not generally engage in dialogue with those making comments, but may refer to the planning manager. Complaints should first be addressed at the department level prior to addressing the Planning Commission. Mr. Cortell, are there any public comment submissions?
No, sir.
All right, thank you. All right, that moves us to our public hearing. We're going to have a public hearing on an outdoor storage facility. Now is the time set for public hearings to consider a quasi-judicial land use application. The application CUP 03-2026 is for a conditional use permit for outdoor storage located at 410 Industrial Way. Now we will proceed with the quasi-judicial land use public hearings, starting with an introduction to the procedures for the hearing. I will introduce the applicable substantive criteria upon which each case will be decided. Our Associate Planner, Clarissa Davis, will provide a staff report. When the staff report has been presented, I will open the public hearing to public testimony. Members of the public who want to testify are asked to sign in and indicate that they will testify on the sign-in sheet. Come up to the podium when called, give their name, address, and city of residence for the record before they testify. We are asking for your address so we can notify you of the city's final decision. If you have any written testimony or other evidence to submit, please give that to the staff so it can be entered into the record. When public testimony has been concluded, I will close the public hearing and open Planning Commission discussion and deliberation. After the Commission has deliberated, we will need a motion to approve, modify, or deny the application. Are there any questions among the Commission about the process? Nope. Oregon land use law requires several items to be read into the record at the beginning of a quasi-judicial public hearing. Conflicts of interest, ex parte contacts, and bias. The Commission is required to disclose any conflicts of interest and ex parte contacts that we may have with the land use application or applicant. This is whether we have any financial or other personal interest in a proposal and whether we have spoken with anybody or have other information about a proposal gathered outside of this hearing. Commissioners may only participate if they can do so without undue bias, either for or against an application. Do any commissioners wish to make a disclosure? No. Are there any challenges from the audience as to conflicts of interest, ex parte contact, or bias related to any member of the commission? No. The applicable procedural and substantive criteria upon which CUP 03-2026 will be decided is found in Molalla Municipal Code Section 17-4.4.040. Your testimony, arguments, and evidence must be directed toward these criteria or other criteria in the comprehensive plan or development code that you believe apply per ORS 197.763, Section 5B. Failure to raise an issue accompanied by statements or evidence sufficient to afford the decision maker and the parties an opportunity to respond may preclude appeal of a decision on this application based on that issue per ORS 197.763, Section 5C. Failure of the applicants to raise constitutional or other issues relating to proposed conditions of approval with sufficient specificity to allow the local government or its designee to respond to the issue precludes an action for damages in circuit court per ORS 197.796, Section 3B. I now open the public hearing for consolidated application CUP 03-2026 at 6:36 p.m. I now call on Associate Planner Clarissa Davis to present the staff report for the application. Ms. Davis.
Thank you, Chair Eaglebear. Good evening, Planning Commission. As Chair Eaglebear mentioned, tonight we'll be hearing a public hearing for the new outdoor storage use proposed at 410 Industrial Way. As we get going here, I'd like to clear something up. The applicant for this land use application is City of Molalla Properties, which has no relation to the City of Molalla. I know that there was some confusion beforehand, but we've actually got our applicant here in the audience today, and the City of Molalla is in no way related to this application except as a reviewer. As we get going here, a couple things I'd like to note. This property went through a code interpretation, and the applicant went through that code interpretation in 2023 to identify their use as a regional utilities facility with a facilities radius of 50 miles. So they do have a bit of a land use history here with the city. They then went through a change of use application this past November in 2025. So I bring these things up because it does impact where they stand today. All right. A little bit of housekeeping. We formally submit the written staff report and exhibits into the meeting record. Additionally, something to note is that this site currently has code violations on it. They were not approved for an outdoor storage use. And when we found out, we broached this with them and they quickly worked to comply with that. So this application would bring them into land use compliance. They started that process last November when they submitted that change of use application, and that was approved. That change of use application found that they needed this conditional use permit to comply with the land use for that site. However, one thing that will still be outstanding if this application is approved is that they will need to get their change of occupancy with the Clackamas County Building Department, and that was a condition of approval from the change of use from last November. So this site, if this use is proposed tonight, would be in compliance with land use at that point in time. All right, a bit of an application overview, and as you can see when we're taking these aerial images, I found these, I believe I found this one from Plan Map. You can actually see that outdoor storage use, and we have had no complaints about that, so keep that in mind as well as we're going through this here. So as I mentioned, this conditional use permit is required for any unenclosed use, including outdoor storage. And so that was what was found when they went through that change of use application, and so this is them continuing that process. This conditional use permit is the only land use approval that the applicant seeks at this time. Here is that site location. It is 410 Industrial Way, right off Industrial Way there, connecting to Tolliver, and then off of 213. This application was submitted on May 14th, and it was deemed complete upon submittal. It is a type 3 application. We're here in front of you today holding a public hearing on it, and public notice was conducted in accordance with that type 3 application procedure. The application notice was posted on the web, mailed to interested parties and adjacent property owners, posted in the newspaper, and placed on the site. We have received no public comments on this application. Okay, here's that conditional use permit approval criteria. And so this was really looked at, and we analyzed it within that staff report. However, the main takeaway from this is that the use of the site is not going to have outsized impacts on external properties, and so that was what we were evaluating. And I can confidently say that we did not find impacts on external properties. So here is that site once again, looking at that industrial land. And this is part of the reason why it didn't have outsized impacts, is because it is an industrial site. It is located by lots of industrial properties. All of that purple there is industrial zones. The pink is commercial zones. To the south, we've got some commercial, and then to the northwest, we've got some commercial there as well. And then to the south, we've got that odd squiggly line. That is our public, semi-public zone over a portion of Bear Creek. So this is a previously developed site. It has existing access, circulation, parking areas, and a building on site as well. Here's a site plan that the applicant submitted to us. That one location up there, that is where they propose to have their outdoor public storage. And you can see it there on that site plan as well. They've got proposed screening at number 2 there on that site plan. So the applicant last October submitted a tree permit to us. They wanted to remove 40 trees that were diseased and had health issues before they were posing a safety issue. And as part of that, they were required to replace those 40 trees somewhere on the site. The applicant actually proposed placing them along Industrial Way there to provide some screening of that site, which is really great and will continue to mitigate that use. Additionally, we've got site access at those 2 locations down towards the southern portion of the property and the existing building. Next, we'll jump into some highlights from the conditions of approval. The top 2 conditions here are actually outstanding conditions from previous land use decisions, and we're wrapping them into this one as well. And so the first is that the applicant will need to get that change of occupancy from the or apply for that with the Clackamas County Building Department within 30 days of the receipt of the notice of decision for the CUP 03-2026. And then the next one is that the applicant shall replant those 40 trees as required by their previous tree permit. Additionally, the applicant shall screen the outdoor storage from Industrial Way using landscaping or other methods, but they may not plant the trees in the public utility easement or vision clearance areas. And then finally is bringing the access to the site up to public works standards, and that is constructing a curb-tight sidewalk, as well as constructing the approach to city standards. Based on the findings and conclusions, we hereby recommend that the Planning Commission approve CUP 03-2026, subject to the conditions of approval found in the staff report. Thank you. I'm happy to answer any questions at this time.
All right, at the moment, I guess.
Another?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. All people speaking before the Planning Commission must state their name and address for the record. Is there any written public comment for the record?
No, there's none.
I invite the applicant to present their case.
Sorry guys, we usually have chairs up there.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Chris Hagerman. I'm a land use planner with Book and Land Use and Planning, and I helped put together the application when these folks approached me. So we just want to thank staff for their thorough review of the case and of the application and for their assistance in earlier planning meetings and sorting out what needed to be done. So we're here tonight on the City of Molalla properties, and we're seeking a conditional use permit for the outdoor storage at the site. This application formalizes that use of the site for the equipment storage that you can see on that aerial, bringing it into land use compliance with the City of Mollalla's code as required by that change of occupancy or change of use approved last November. We reviewed the staff report and the conditions of approval and are in agreement with all of them. And with that, I'd like to turn it over to Steve McInnes, who will speak on the operation of the company.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Look forward to continuing our relationship with the city here. Over the period of years, we've helped you with your treatment facilities, also with services for the city. And I don't, just to back up a little bit, the reason we're a little delayed on this site is we've been here before asking and wanting to develop the site to do recycling at the facility. So, and with what's happened in the past, a little delay on the treatment plant has delayed our plans out here for developing the site. We had no idea we were not in compliance, so we do apologize for that. But we are looking forward to continuing our relationship with you and also bringing and developing the site to bring jobs and product to the area. So with that being said, we look to have your approval. Thank you very much.
Have any?
Nope.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. I invite anyone in support of the application to speak. I invite anyone those opposed to the application to speak. I invite those who are neither for nor against the application to speak. I invite public agencies to comment. I invite the applicant to present any rebuttal to the testimony presented. Okay. I now close the public hearing for application CUP03 2026 at 6:48 p.m. Is there a request to keep the record open? Now is the time for commission deliberation and discussion. Note, only questions asked of staff are allowed after the hearing is closed.
Got nothing.
Nothing.
Jobs, how many jobs? Was it ever mentioned how many jobs is it going to bring to the community?
I believe that Steve was speaking about the eventual development of the site, and so I can't comment on that yet.
Anything else?
Nothing.
Okay. We need a motion to approve with modifications, or a motion to deny.
A motion to approve CUP 03-2026 as staff presented it.
Second. Second. All right. Can we call the vote?
Commissioner Potts,
Aye.
Commissioner Ansel,
Aye.
Commissioner Sharp,
Aye.
Commissioner Ornelas,
Aye.
and Chair Eagleburn.
Aye.
Vote passes 5-0.
All right. Thank you much. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Thank you for your time. Thank you, guys.
All right, now we're into general business. First up is Lynne Lane and Hezzie Lane Street vacation. Ms. Davis,
Anyone getting deja vu?
right? A little
Okay.
bit.
Yeah,
A little bit.
so we vacated, city council vacated the portion of Hezzie Lane that was between the two school properties to the south of this portion. This is actually a separate portion of Hezzie Lane. I'm frantically thinking, I don't think that this is the rest of Hezzie Lane. I think there is more pieces of Hezzie Lane. However, this is coming forward because the applicant of Lisa Estates, which is the property that is kind of in the middle of those three pieces of property that the vacation spots touch, is looking to develop that parcel. And when the city received the dedication for the Hezzie Lane and for Lynne Lane, many, many moons ago before I was born, a long time ago, they received 60 feet of dedication. And when the TSP was written, it called for only 50 feet of right-of-way for this specific spot. So that leaves 10 extra feet of right-of-way that kind of nothing happens with unless it is vacated, and then that goes back to the original property owners on the sides there. So this has come up because this applicant is looking to develop these parcels, and they are going to have to build out 3/4 street improvements along those frontages. And so by vacating this portion of the land, we will have less maintenance costs associated with that, and it will make it so that the street is more clearly defined as to who owns what and what is happening where. So that is what the city is looking to do, is to reduce this maintenance cost, reduce this confusion. I will state that it recently came up in our office. Someone didn't realize that they were using a portion of land that was not technically theirs, and it was city right-of-way. And that was kind of a whole situation that we had to sort out on the back end. So having this extra land here is confusing to people. It's challenging in the long run, and it also is a maintenance burden on the city. So at this point in time, before this gets developed, that is something that we are looking to do, is to reduce that maintenance burden and to improve clarity going forward. Are there any questions I can answer on this?
I'll just add, if I might, basically, this is just an exaction where the city took too much land at the outset and is now giving it back because it's not needed and it's their land. It's the short story.
But didn't you say there's more on Hezzie Lane that needs to be done as well?
I think she was just
No.
referring to that there is a southern portion
There
of
is a
Hezzie Lane
southern
as well.
portion of Hezzie Lane.
Gotcha.
There,
I just don't want to have to come, well, not me, I don't know if I'll be here, but, so I have to, somebody to circle back to do another 200 feet.
yes,
Can we get this all the way to Tolliver, from Lynn to Tolliver and be done with it? I mean, is there a way to incorporate?
That
So
is
this is a-
absolutely the goal.
this is a unique portion because this site is not developed. These right-of-ways are going to get redeveloped at this point in time. And so I believe that the southern portion already has been developed, so there's less reason to go back and to vacate those portions of land. Whereas with this one, we can get it so when we build that street originally, everything is in the correct spots, and we don't have to deal with extra land that we don't
Well,
need.
I'm just like trying to think, like from Tolliver to Lynn, if we can incorporate everything on this road.
That is this. This is the extra that we have there
Gotcha.
from Tolliver.
I'm not talking for our problems, but for staff problems down the road, whatever. They don't have to circle back. It's already in a document somewhere.
Yep, and that's exactly what this is.
Gotcha,
From
okay.
everything from Lynn and even a little chunk of Lynn there too.
Gotcha.
So yeah, this is just above that kind of red line, is we didn't have more. Don't ask me why, but we didn't have more than we needed. It's just that red
Because
space.
the last time we did this, it was for the school, correct? We vacated all the school, or our property to the school, and the school
Yeah.
did what we had to do. Anyway, gotcha. I follow. I pay attention. I'm good at school.
I know you do.
I just want to like save staff down the road if this is everything on there and be done with it.
He wants a full Hezzie overhaul.
We don't anticipate coming back with another vacation this year.
This year.
What about 5 years from now?
I'm hoping not that either.
Hezzie Lane.
Yeah. I'm just good. Just checking. Just making sure that nobody has to circle back to this for another 200 feet or something. That's all.
At this point in time, we're looking for a formal recommendation to take to council, either, well, whatever you all would like your recommendation to be.
Take it to council. Let's get it out. Get it off the books. And
We just need to move.
Yeah, we need a motion.
motion.
So is there a motion to recommend that the city council vacate the proposed portions of Lynne and Hezzie?
I so move.
There it is.
I second.
Do we need a vote?
Commissioner Potts,
Aye.
Commissioner Ansel,
Aye.
Commissioner Sharp,
Aye.
Commissioner Ornelas,
Aye.
Chair Eaglebear.
Aye.
Vote passes 5-0.
All right. Then there's a UGB update as well.
All right.
Chair, I'm sorry, I'm a little behind. I'm not used to doing this. Can you remind me who seconded that motion?
I
Thank
did.
you.
All right.
All right. Yep, planning manager to give the, thank you, Chair. Staff report for the UGB update. So, as the title suggests, it's just an update on where we're at. We're going to have a formal hearing next commission meeting in September with the commission, and then adoption hearing in council. We just, given that we had some new materials that came in, we wanted to discuss that with both bodies before going to the hearing and just give it time for a discussion, and that's why we're here today. So basically the update here is we did our Goal 14 analysis where we looked at each of the sub areas and developed a study area, and then sort of got recommendations on which of those we ought to bring in based on state prioritization and the Goal 14 factors. When we got through that process, there was some concern from the community, from council, that looking to the exception lands, which are to the south, those are the goal exception lands that are first priority within the state system, might not be cost effective, might not be the right choice for the city. And we wanted to make sort of extra sure that we had a good plan before committing to a plan that could jeopardize the future for development of the city. So what we did is we went to the governor's office, staff went to the governor's office, chatted with them, and they said, well, if it's so expensive to go south versus the north, show us, and we're willing to take a look at that. And we thought that was an amenable, council agreed that was an amenable solution. So we went back for a grant, DLCD granted the grant, and we did a cost comparison between the sub areas, and for 13 through 16, I have the sub areas up, and they're different from what they were in the first Goal 14 analysis, but these are the ones we're using now. So these ones up north, 13 through 16, and did a cost comparison between, I don't think we did do a cost comparison of one because it's Ivor Davies Park, but 2 through 9. And so we did cost analysis for expansion to each of these areas. In these cost analysis, they considered each sub area as a standalone. So what would be the cost of like extending sewer all the way out to sub area 4? That would have been factored in. Obviously, if you put them together, the total cost goes down because you have multiple sub areas bearing the cost of one sewer line as opposed to just one. But that's true to the north as well as the south. That's not unique to either sub-area. So we just thought that was the best way to go about it, so we can consider sub-area to sub-area in a vacuum. And the short of it is staff was surprised by the results, and in that, you know, both some of the closer in sub-areas like 13, 14, 15, and 5 through 9 in the south came back very similar in terms of what the costs would be to serve them with utility infrastructure and transportation infrastructure. A big piece of that meaning, something that nobody had seen before, that we've had studies done in the past, and it was always assumed that we'd have to have substantial lift stations right around here and on a way to get sewer over the creek, but it was found that you could actually run a gravity line all the way down Molalla Forest Road here, and it would be able to go all the way to the plant via gravity. So that was a big factor leading towards cost similarity, and given that the costs were fairly similar, like it would take a very substantial cost difference. Actually, the state has DLCD and the state have recently passed rules that would apply in the next round of ONA, that basically if it was 4 times the cost to go to one area versus another, you could choose to go to the first area even if it was prioritized lower. So given that as, even though that didn't apply to us, given that as the benchmark, when you had, a matter of a couple $1,000s, we didn't feel like we had a good argument, and the DLCD agreed with that assessment in our conversations with them, and have chosen an expansion to the south. So we have a draft map of what we are proposing to the south. It includes 177.5 acres, of the identified 198 acre need. We don't have to bring the whole thing in at once, so we will be reevaluating in 8 years. And I suspect at that time we likely won't need to expand further, but that remains to be seen. But 177.5 acres in those sub-areas 5 through 9. Not taking all of them in, taking portions of them in, most of them north of Warwick Road. We'll be taking 77 and a little bit of change acres just west of the wastewater treatment plant, west of our current town boundary. Now, notably for this one, for the industrial lands, and actually we could have done this with the commercial lands, but didn't need to. If you have an identified need in your economic opportunities analysis, but you don't have sites that are suitable to that, so basically in this case, our economic opportunities analysis said, hey, you need industrial sites that are bigger than 20 and 30 acres. We didn't have those in our exception land. So in that case, you can jump priority and say, well, we need to find sub areas that do have suitable site characteristics. And this sub area 12 looked like a great one in that it's located right next to the sewer. So we didn't do the cost analysis on this one because we weren't comparing residential to residential. But it had the site characteristics, and our assumptions are that serving it are going to be it's going to be fairly straightforward, given that it's right next to the sewer plant. We do have water lines that go up there in transportation. It's right on the highway, and then also it's adjacent to the airfields. So it seemed to be good, suitable for some of that larger industrial site that we really are lacking in this town. And then sort of next to this sub-area 5 and just continuing down Molalla Ave, we have about 7.5 acres of commercial proposed. We don't have a lot of vacant small commercial sites, and you actually do need those. And we have a couple that are 1.5 acres and 2.5 acres respectively, and then a bunch of tiny ones that I think one of them's a church, and there's a couple of small businesses now, and they could, they would have the opportunity to redevelop as commercial or continue operating as they are, as you can when you get brought into a UGB. And then the last piece is we brought in about 84 and 3/4 acres we're proposing to bring in of basically public, semi-public open space. So one of about 37 acres is Ivor Davies Park, which is just not in the city yet. So we're in the UGB, so that's sort of one we intend to bring in regardless. And then there's this other area here that's all owned by one owner. It's the same owner that owns these properties on 5th Street above here. And the idea with these is that, so Bear Creek runs through about right there. And we have a planned trail along Bear Creek in our Parks Recreation and Trails Master Plan. So the idea is we bring that in. It would make it easier for us to get the trail. If this piece develops, you know, that would be sort of an exaction as part of that negotiation. And then the other piece is, oh, there you go. Okay. And then the other piece is, most of this has been identified as wetland in the statewide wetland inventory. We're going to do after we finish this process, we're going to do a local wetlands inventory, which is a much more like sort of site-specific survey. You know, we'd be actually going out and surveying the sites that we're bringing into the UGB and finding out where the wet spots are. But it's, you know, from our observations, it's pretty wet down there. We expect it to be fairly similar. But it could be a potential wetland mitigation site for the property owner, and that would be easier to sort of negotiate if it was all in the UGB and in the city, potentially. So that's the gist of what we're looking at. And then the last piece, like I said before, hearings here, and again, that'll be hearing, and then you'd make a recommendation to council at the September meeting, and then it will go to council on September 23rd for adoption, and then we will bring, Clackamas County also has to agree on the urban growth boundary amendment, so we would be bringing it to them in November to their planning commission and their board of commissioners in December, and we need to get this thing done by the end of the year to slide in under the process that we've already started, so we don't need to do any backtracking. So we're tight timeline, but we've got a timeline that works, and we're ready to meet it. Last piece on that, we did hold a public meeting in this very building on July 20th, Monday, July 20th. I think we had like about 110 folks show up.
Really?
Yeah, it was crowded house.
Yes.
Crowded house.
Wow. That was good.
And you know, it was an interest. You know, as I've described it, at the end of Violet's presentation, half the crowd left. They just wanted to hear what was going on. And then we entered the grievance period, and so it was a variety of them. And there was some folks that were frustrated that we didn't go north. Some folks that were frustrated that it is coming south. Some people that were not included in the south that wanted to be included in the south. And then there was just some general concerns about you know, transportation planning that would develop as a part of this, which I understand where the complaints or the concerns are coming from. And then, you know, just reiterating that we're going to be doing transportation planning as the next piece as well. We're currently applying for a transportation growth management grant, TGM grant with ODOT and DLCD jointly. That would plan for the transportation infrastructure and utility infrastructure down in this section, sort of general planning outline and some of the features that would go into intersections down there, how the major roads would be classified, and then also, you know, here we have on this map we have a general sort of residential, commercial, and industrial. We would actually apply zoning at that time. So that's what's coming, and just really reiterating that you know, this didn't always happen in the past in Molalla, but our master plans call for transportation networks to be built out with this kind of growth, and we hold our developers to that now, and we're getting the infrastructure that's supposed to come in with these subdivisions. So I've had a couple of conversations, really good conversations with some folks in the south after that, and really talked about some specific intersections, and you know, they'll likely be talking about those, but you know, potentially at the hearings. And that's the plan, is that we want to be hearing their feedback during this, you know, transportation management planning process, and get community feedback and what the problems are, because the models don't always show it. So that's the extent of my staff report, and we'd love to have a discussion with you about where we're at and where we're going, and answer any questions before we get to a point where we're in the hearing. So.
I did read most of this, 90% of it while I was on vacation. So I know, right? It's kind of anal.
Yeah.
But question though, why aren't we bringing all the lands in that we need and at this time? Because we're gonna have to come up against this again, if I correct me, at 25,000 population.
So what do you mean by all the lands?
Like, because we're only bringing in 177 acres and we need 190 something acres.
So the idea is that you go up to but not over the that 198. We're going to have to do another housing needs analysis at the end of the 8-year planning period, irregardless. I think our assumption here is to bear a little on the low side, considering that. Considering the stuff that we've heard about, not that we've heard, the population estimates have just been a little lower these days in terms of Oregon growing overall. We didn't really feel like highly compelled to bring all the land in at this time, and when we do it in 8 years, if it should, you know, if it grew at what they were predicting in 2022, we would have to do another urban growth boundary amendment. If it's growing the way it's been growing the last couple of years, we probably don't. So it's not necessarily like if we brought all that in, then we don't have to bring it in later. We just started taking a stab.
I think I can clarify that a little bit. The number one complaint that we've heard throughout this process is that the year after we started this process, a new population estimate came out that was a little lower, and as you know, those probably the next one will probably be higher. You know, who knows? They go up and down and do that sort of thing. And if you don't lock in on one, then you're constantly redoing the process every single year.
You're chasing.
Right, so you'd never progress because the population estimate changes every year, whether that changes down or up, or generally up. But so I think, and then the part two of that is we can go up to that land need but not exceed it. So it depends on formatting of lots as well. So I think the idea here was, and we were trying to read the tea leaves with the council and stuff, is that they know we need to get this done. I think the community knows that we need to get this done, by law and everything else, and for economies of scale to be able to keep utilities at an affordable rate and all that good stuff. But I think that they were trying to take that into account and say, okay, we're going to go, we don't really have the lots to make the extra 20 acres, but we're gonna kind of stop here at these. Rather than go all the way to the 198, kind of insensitivity to the community feedback is the way I've been reading it.
Gotcha. I was just curious. I mean, that was like one of the questions. Yeah, and like you said, it's good that you're going to get involved, Clackamas County, in the traffic plans, because I'd be really curious to see what they're going to do with 213 with all this expansion. That being the most driven road north. How many times do you drive that, Dan? I mean, we all drive it. You know what I'm saying? It's becoming worse and worse. And if they expect us to do this, they're going to have to do something to that road to make it economical for people to still get out of this city. So we all know it's been an ongoing issue with that Pacific stretch for a long time. So other than that, it looks good. Another question is, do we have the next exception lands figured out where those are going to go?
Well, see, the exception lands are gonna.
Are we still going to keep what we don't use south, or are we going to expand them like we did the last time, 30 years ago when we did this? You know what I'm saying?
So the exception lands don't change. They're based on the zoning at the time. so, I mean, the landowners could petition for a change, and then get out of the, thereby get out of the exception lands. But this rural residential farm and the Farm Forest 10, rural residential 5 and Farm Forest 10, those zonings, as far as I know, those zoning designations stay the same. What we can do is start looking at urban reserves. And that would, the urban reserve is a process that looks further ahead at like a 50-year land supply. And I think it's something that we, you know, at least need to seriously consider.
Yeah, because just looking at other cities around us who keep going in and getting just this little portion added in for this building, this little section added in for another building. It's becoming more and more where they just take this chunk and that chunk, and they're going through this whole process again, where the cost on the city is exactly the same if they take a bunch and once or just one. I mean, I hate to say it, but it's almost like a rubber stamp these days with cities and the state just going, okay. Like at Woodburn.
Right, and if we were to get that urban reserve area, it would be we'd be a lot more flexible in terms of like a need that would come up.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh, we get, you know, Amazon's the one people always use.
They're not coming to Molalla.
They're not coming to Molalla. But
Let's be real. They're not coming to Molalla.
You know, a larger.
Just for deliveries.
They're coming everywhere, exactly. But no, a larger industrial user comes. You know, you'd have that urban reserve, and you'd be a little more flexible to bring in a larger parcel for that. That we don't have that kind of flexibility right now. But once you start looking into an urban reserve, that's on the same priority level as your exception lands.
Gotcha. Okay.
So you're not tied into the prioritization that much. So that'd be the advantage of looking at the urban reserve.
Just trying to future think, that's all.
There's definitely still, you know, larger exception land parcels if our residential need starts to.
Oh, absolutely. Like 13,
13.
Big Meadow 2. That's been trying to come in for 20 years. But anyway.
Well, that would be in the what's it called, in the urban reserve.
Reserves.
In the urban reserve, but I'm talking, you know, even if in 8 years we come back and we need, say, 40 more acres, you know, for the population estimate, we'd actually still have that in the exception lands. But you know, like I say, if a bigger industrial user comes in, all of a sudden we may need to have workforce housing for it.
Exactly.
And right, the urban reserve makes you more flexible, but it doesn't, you know, without that sort of obligation. And then when that cycle comes back around, that 8-year planning cycle comes back around, you can look at that instead of your exception lands, and you know, you have a little more flexibility about where you go.
It's all good. Thanks, Dan.
Yeah.
Nearing the end.
And then he's going to put in his resignation letter.
It's done with all the hard stuff at that.
That's what I'm saying. He has nothing left to do.
Yeah.
Just drop the mic.
It's going to be more boring for you.
Bigger amount.
Oh my gosh. All right, well. Okay. Well, I know we just got through all that. Is there any other staff communication? Updates, city events, things like that?
I've got an update for you guys. So we had a unique thing compared to the last couple of months. We will not have a public hearing in September, at least for me. I think we'll have one for you.
Yeah. Oh, we'll have one for me.
I'm taking this opportunity to bring industrial design standards to you guys. So we've heard you. We know we don't have them in the city, and it feels like every single time I have a pre-application meeting with an applicant, they say, hey, like, what about, you know, industrial design standards? Do you not have that? And so I'm really excited. We've been putting together a lot of research on regional jurisdictions who are around us and what their industrial design standards look like. Spoilers, we have way too high of standards for our industrial zone compared to our regional counterparts. So I'm really excited about that, and it'll be great to bring that to you all in September.
Is that different than architectural standard?
Architectural standards, yep,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
So like right now, all our non-residential stuff is tied into one little package.
Yeah.
That's,
So our industrial buildings are held to the same standard as our downtown commercial buildings, which
Doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make sense.
doesn't make sense.
is
Can I get those
challenging.
before we like talk about those?
Yeah.
So I can put my input in there, like we can add and
That's what we
retract.
bring it- That's why we bring it to you.
Yeah,
I mean,
so,
like seriously, like I want to have this up, like.
And we're just bringing the discussion, so that's exactly
Oh,
what we're doing.
perfect.
yeah, so
Okay.
So
use
just-
this
it's
next
perfect.
month, brainstorm what design standards do you want to see for industrial buildings, and I am going to be so happy to hear them. And also, if you think of industrial users in the city of Molalla who you think it would be good for us to reach out to personally communicate with, hold those thoughts, bring those to us. This is
Get rid of the
this is
windows.
my spoilers.
Yeah,
This is
lose
coming
the
in
windows.
September. We're not supposed to talk about it grouply now, but I'm very excited.
No, that's very
That's my staff communication tonight.
Perfect. Sounds good. Thank you.
That's one we've been wrestling with for a while and just haven't had the manpower.
Yeah.
I know, you've probably seen since there's two of us, it's been like ordinance. Let's go.
Well, at some point we're gonna have to tackle some other things too. But how's the intern dude? Is he doing your paperwork still? Is he gone? Just
No,
scare-
he's here. He's
Oh.
here. I try to be really nice. I want him to feel comfortable in the office. It's hard to be an intern. He's doing great. Yeah,
Good.
he's really
Good.
helping us out.
For some reason, he's still working for us. It's great.
That's why I'm asked. It's been a month and he's
Yeah.
sticking around.
There you go.
I don't know.
But yeah, we've actually
September's coming
digitized-
fast.
We've actually digitized a ton of our old paper records with him. So
Boxes
boxes,
and
yeah.
boxes.
And he's found things that we didn't know were there to be found. He's done a really good job of his own accord, just being
Good.
diligent and paying
Nice.
attention. Yeah, he's been doing
Good.
really well.
Good to hear.
Awesome.
I've got a couple of updates.
Okay.
All right. So the stormwater master plan, the much anticipated stormwater master plan, will be coming to you guys for review and discussion on September 2nd at our next meeting. We're taking it to work session at the city council a week from today. We'll incorporate the feedback from the city council and all that stuff, then bring you guys something a lot closer to a finished product to take a last look at and get any further comments taken care of in that. So that's finally coming. Ended up being a big lift because there were so many parts of the city that had been county that had never even been surveyed. So we had to go back and survey a bunch of the city to, find pipe depths and all that good stuff, or it was just a worthless plan with a guess of where everything is and how it's working. So, so that got delayed a little bit because of that stuff, but it's going to be a much better plan. And then as we add land in the future, it'll be something we can actually build off of instead of having to wad it up and throw it away. So that's exciting. It'd be good to get that one off the list. The water intake design is moving along without a hiccup so far. We're at 35% design. We're going in for pre-app for our county permits in September. So we'll start working on that process and getting that stuff done. But yeah, that's moving along well, well within budget. And I'm still working through the EPA grant form. Even when you get approved for a grant from your federal representative, you then have to go back to the agency that manages that money and do their grant process. Even though it's already approved and done, you still have to go through their grant process as if it was not. And I think I told you guys I had to sign up for 5 different, platforms. Anyway, we've got the first draft in, got some comments back, so we're gonna get those gussied up and sent back over. The wastewater treatment plant project, of course, you guys have seen that. That continues to roll along. We moved into the biosolids removal stage. There will be 2 stages of that. This one comes out of Lagoon 2, and then in a year we'll do Lagoon 1. So I don't know if you guys have seen, it's really cool how Synagro is the company that's doing it. And they come in with these big kind of metal frames, and they're almost like an erector set. They pop these things up, and they've got their screw presses, or actually I guess they're centrifuges, but same idea, on there, and run hose, and they're sucking out. And anyway, that thing's running nonstop during the day, Monday through Saturday right now.
That's how many biosolids were packed into that pond for many, many years. I mean, it's just a constant flow of stuff coming out of the end, and it's kind of wild. So if you guys ever want to go down and take a look at it, if you're interested in that sort of thing, let me know. We'll get you hooked up down there. But I found it really cool. I was like, whoa, I just popped that thing up. It's crazy. So that's moving along. I think outside of that, I don't have a whole lot, but if you guys have any questions for me, I think those are kind of our big ticket projects. We've of course got a lot of odds and ends going on, but yeah, if anyone has any questions.
Just curious, any update on like an ADU ordinance standards?
That is part of our HPS implementation, which I anticipate as soon as we get through the UGB jungle here, that we've already got, we've started to work on an implementation plan for that, and starting to plan that out, how we're going to attack that and get a Gantt chart together and some of that stuff. So I believe that's the first regulation you guys are going, or the first thing you're going to see out of the HPS, if I'm not mistaken, but they can correct me.
We're probably going to, we might bite off a few just because there's stuff in the model code that I think is close.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, every week I come in, I'm like, I'm going to do HPS implementation this week, and then like 4 or 5 UGB things drop on my plate. So it's coming, I swear.
But expect to start seeing those start to roll out like around January, February, because we will end this process,
Hopefully.
in December. Hopefully we'll be looking in the rear view. I mean, there's some implementation work we're going to have to do here as well, but we can now handle both because we've got 2 excellent planners. So.
Yeah. Anybody have any other questions about stuff?
No. No.
I'm good.
I'm good. I got nothing.
All right. Well, thank you all for all those updates and everything. That's amazing. The commission have anything? Updates?
Nope. No.
My ongoing saga with the middle school, they are moving. They're moving. They're doing all the facilities and utilities in the street this week and next, getting all that going. I get the gentleman from Pence come by and hand me flyers on a regular basis now.
Oh, good.
Because he's like, oh, we're doing this, and so today was no water day, so
Yeah. I think you had 2 of those. Didn't you?
okay.
Sorry about that.
It's all good. But school's going, from what I can tell from the outside, school's going up pretty good. They're trucking along, getting roofs and stuffs on. They're still working on the front, kind of the entry portion. They're still kind of working on the second floor there, but they're getting the parking lot turnaround all curbed up already. They've started some asphalt in the back corner.
They're flying.
Yeah, they're cruising along, so it's exciting.
It is. That whole side of town's going to look different between the industrial subdivision and the middle school, and that stuff is going to really.
Yep. Yeah, it'll be interesting. And then speaking of those lots there on Hezzie, that I saw, the developed contractor has already got stakes out to surveyed stakes, and they brought in a drop box for their materials, I think, already, or at least starting to. So
I think that might be how we discovered the right-of-way issue.
Oh.
They started staking it out, and they were like, hey, you guys have another, I mean, I'm not sure. It sounds like we just have to keep it. I thought that, sometimes you have to take a little more from one side than the other, depending on how things go, because you have to have 2 travel lanes, to get through. I thought that's what happened, but it sounds like they just got overall too much in the beginning, and maybe they planned Hezzie to be some sort of a major collector or arterial, but that was never going to be the case.
Seems like they just grabbed 60 on all the roads.
That kind of seems like it to me too, actually.
Well, I mean, if you put parking on both sides and 2 lanes and 2 lanes, and you're going into the school area, I mean, that's always been a school area, so maybe they thought that would connect eventually between the 2 schools. Who knows?
Well, I mean, we brought it up when the school was in front of us. It was like, well, why don't you run it through? Like,
Yeah, exactly.
Doesn't make any sense. And
These are the questions, Doug, aren't they?
so, anyway,
Yeah.
but yeah, the school's moving. So, you know, that's all I got. It's just the ongoing excitement in my space.
Front row seat.
Yeah, front row seat. No. So, if there's nothing else for the good of the order, we can adjourn this meeting. You know. Okay. Is there anything else for good of the order?
Nothing.
Seeing nothing, I adjourn this meeting at 7:30 p.m.
On the dot.
I have a question, but it didn't need to be in our meeting. Is there any kind of code on